an honor it is to be here with you. I am Rising Phoenix Aurora. You have been watching I Survive Antarctica, my journey to and from the restricted lands of Antarctica. This is episode 3. We have 2 other episodes that have happened part of the series, within the series of remote viewing Antarctica, the ice walls beyond Antarctica, and Tartaria, which I actually have a book series, The Lost Cities of Tartaria, Beyond the Ice Walls of Antarctica, which you want to check out under Amazon and Barnes & Noble. Check out my books. I am an author. I am known as the Spiritual Revolutionist. And I am also the founder of Rising Phoenix Mystery School, which you see, Wellness Center, which you see right behind me. Yeah, looks good. Okay, sweet. Looks like people are joining now. And it is incredible to be here after 118 episodes of this series, and here we are. So this is huge. If you just started watching, watch all the way to the end. We are going to be talking about the most incredible beauties of Antarctica and everything that I got to see there, as well as the book that we started to see and read last week about the discovery of the North Pole, which has information about Antarctica, which we'll go over, where it shows us a glimpse into what the world was like back then when, in Tartaria, through this old book here, again, published in, let's see, in this one. I don't think this one had the published date, I think. Oh yeah, there is. 1909. So 1909, this book. So we're gonna start off with a couple pictures, and then we're gonna go into what was the world of Antarctica, because I'm going to be showing you an incredible side of the Antarctica that we got to see. But you'll get to read that through this book first, and then we'll go into what we saw hands-on, physically walking side by side next to these icebergs that are huge, but then also not so huge as we thought they were. These lands that are soiled with different colors, lavas and ice. I think it's one of the only places like that is lava and ice at the same time. So stay tuned. I love you, honor you, respect you. Thank you for being here. If you found your way here, you are meant to be here. So enjoy the show. Here we go. All right, a little introduction to who I am. I am known as a Spiritual Revolutionist. You saw the books. I have my website, risingphoenixaurora.com, where I host retreats and workshops. My next live in-person retreat and live workshop at the same time is May 11th for Aura Hypnosis Entity Removal Past Life Regression. You're going to hear me reference that from time to time in all my videos. It is truly the work that I do every day, along with Akashic readings. I do one-on-one counselings, just one-on-one mentorships as well, and raw Reiki sessions, which I am the founder of all these modalities, which we have practitioners all over the world. We currently have 60 listed on our website, where you can find them and more information about what we do, aurapractitioners.com. But my website for all the information that you will hear and want to know about the work that is incredible. We can heal anything. So I teach quantum alchemy, quantum healing, quantum as well as quantum physics. Within this, everything I teach, it has the science within it, and it's quite incredible when you understand the quantum world, because at that point, I mean, you're limitless. What can you not do? Because you understand it at a subatomic atom level, and matter and plasma. It's just beautiful. So see you May 11. Come here to Chicago, come get certified. And before I forget to tell you, I'm not going to be here the next 2 weeks, the next 2 Fridays live. Typically, I am live every Friday, 1 p.m. Central Time, which is central to Asia, the Himalayan mountains, and central to the Sun and the Moon Temple, Pyramid of Yucatan, Mexico. So yeah, and so here we are, 13th hour, 1 p.m. every time. And so I won't be here for the next 2 weeks. I am hosting a retreat just for the Aura practitioners. And so we'll be just having an incredible journey there, and I'll share with you more when I get back. So to support this video and all that I do, go to my website, sign up to any of our memberships or any of our courses and sessions. As well, you could go to both of my websites or Patreon, where you can sign up to any of the tiers there. Let's get started. Write your questions there in chat, and Gina is there to answer your write your questions down so that I may answer them. All right. So a little bit of teaser. Keep watching. So this is what we have here. Right here, this map. I'm gonna play a little bit of music. Shouldn't be too loud. Let me know. All right. So, okay. We're gonna go Asian on this music. I like it. Okay, so some of what we're starting today now, I'm probably not gonna get it done in one episode, guys. This is too vast. Thousands of pictures alone of what we saw in Antarctica, where it began at when we were there, and what it transitioned into. It was magic, you all. Don't forget the magic, because through the series, I'm going to show you what we saw transmute, alchemize, and crystallize into Antarctica on our trip. So I'll show you this image here, this map on the cruise that we went on. We left from Tierra de Fuego, and look at this, you all. We have an exact map to everywhere we tracked in Antarctica. Incredible, huh? So we'll be going over that with you and showing you the thousands of pictures. I won't show you all 1,000, but I've condensed them down for you. Yeah, check that out, you all. So great epiphanies we've gotten, huh? Through this series already. We've discovered that Australia is Antarctica. To understand that, watch part 2. And so is New Zealand. And beyond that, what's going on after that? And, we discovered Tierra de Fuego, Ushuaia Island is also, it's actually marked as the end of the world, according, to the parts that they have labeled there. There is just so much to understand from the series, and we are starting now. All right, here we go. So questions, comments, and we're looking good. Everybody's good. We are in purple. We are in purple today. Thank you to the current who are streaming now. I think it's about 82. And they'll rise as you're here. Hit subscribe now and the like button to help the algorithm, you all. Let's go. Okay. Yeah, so this is a pendant. I had a dream of how important spirals are. This is spiral. This is the sign, the symbol, alchemy symbol of Pachamama, which is Mother Earth, Gaia, in Inca language. Okay. How pretty is that? From the stone, from the rocks, from the crystallization of that land there. So in case you guys are looking at that. Okay. So she'll guide me today. As always, only source of light is allowed within this space. Only love, only benevolence is allowed to be speaking through me today. And my benevolence of guides and angels. And I want to say, you haters and trolls, don't even bother. I know my content is too strong sometimes, especially if you are just waking up, or if you're resisting, or you're under a program. You might fight it, but don't even bother. Keep your entities to yourself. If you're going to hate and troll, it'll be yours to transmute. I'm too sovereign. Let's move on. Okay, so let's start looking here. All right. Those images that I've been posting for my thumbnails, guys, I took them. They are quite beautiful. Okay, so in the last pictures, I believe we were here, right? We just passed the Drake's Passageway, And what an incredible story to share with you all about this. So these are some of the first icebergs that I got to see. We got to see once we passed the Drake's Passageway, right? We're seeing the first ice after surviving Drake's Passageway. And those waves are just frequency waves, basically, as we talked about, just alchemizing, crystallizing you in preparation for the new world you're about to go in. Your vessel is recalibrating to the new world, which is Antarctica. Isn't that incredible? I didn't change the color on that one, but look at how it changed in color. I don't think I did in this one. I can't remember, did I? Some of them I did just to show the contrast. Oh yeah, I did darken this one. So yes, this one I did, but just the colors and contrast. Look at that, and what you can't see when you add the contrast. Look, you can see there's actually purples and greens in the sky. Isn't that interesting? There's the aurora borealis type of energy happening there. Okay. So here we go. Little glimpse into what we're seeing. Girls that we were with having fun. Here we are. So this is our first like expedition off of the ship once we made it, right? Okay. Made it past the Drake's Passageway. Oh, someone said today is the first day of spring, also considered the astrological new year. Nice. Sweet. Okay. All right. So let's see a glimpse into this. I did heart. Okay. And that's us. So we're getting on these type of raft. I forget what they call them. We'll just call them cruisers. And water cruisers. And here we are. We are preparing to go to, I believe, to see penguins. Just floating around. But I want you to pay attention to what this world looks like, how different it looks to what it turns into. Okay. So the water seems not as alive. It's cloudy, it's foggy. There's chemtrails. Interesting enough, y'all. There's chemtrails. See, all this is chemtrails. And some of it could be fogs and clouds, but I mean, I know the difference between chemtrails. I live in Chicago, and I mean, I'm seeing one right now, and in the sky. So if there's no one habiting Antarctica, why are they chemtrails? That's very interesting, huh? And yeah, so there's some of that there is something going on over there. So here's our right, we're off of the ship. Here's some first. I think that was a seal. I'm pretty sure that was a seal. No, it's a penguin. So cute. So our first penguins, which you're gonna learn if you are not already in love with penguins, you all. 100%. I mean, okay, 77% of Antarctica is seeing penguins. Penguins are the highlight. They're adorable. They're just so cute, the way they waddle. And yeah. Okay, let me see what else I have for you guys. Okay, so this is a slow-mo on, okay, Antarctica. Just feel the energies there. It's powerful. Something moves there. Did you see that? What is that? Oh, it's a bird. All right. Just watching out for dragons. Because we got to see the dragons and feel them, right, in our third eye, but we also felt them. And we got to hear them. A lot of those icebergs that are falling that they think are icebergs, they're not icebergs. Some of those icebergs that were falling all over while we were there and, melting, unthawing, were dragon roars. You could hear the distinct roar. Like, I didn't capture it on video because it would just happen randomly, but it would, that roar like the thunder. Okay. Yeah, so this is us. Okay, we're preparing to go to our first little island, which is believe it's called Penguin Island. One of the Penguin Islands, because there's several. Okay, so that's us there getting ready. And pictures, okay. Just feel the energy. It's powerful already. But you see that fog? It's a white fog. In Chicago, we know what that white fog is on the sky. It's artificial. It's not natural. The skies are supposed to be blue. So that's happening, but you should see the skies. You guys, the skies when we're done, guys. It is, you can't even believe it. And everywhere we heard is they would say, "Oh, you're so lucky. Today's a very beautiful day. Wow, you're so lucky. What's happening here?" Because crystallization was happening, right? Okay, so that's one video there. That's us getting ready. The sun, here's the sun. This is a different sun. Remember, it's in the Urbano Monte maps. We talk about it tons. And this is the female sun. This is the sun that also New Zealand and Australia get to see, which is a female, which, yeah. And ours is a male, closer to the North Pole. Okay, so take a look at her. She's beautiful. She's getting ready. This is February 14, which is technically Valentine's Day, right, for you guys over here. But again, that fog cloud, those really low chemtrails. And she's getting ready for February 17, where she's going to eclipse with some magical energies there that we were a part of on the year of the unicorn when it came in. But look at that. You see the water already is changing and shifting? And you'll get to see a lot more of that later. From the first video I just showed you a couple seconds before this, the water's already shifting. Pictures. It's cool. Something's happening there. Some kind of energy's coming out. That's cool. Okay. Yeah. Beautiful. Even though there's a fog, it's still very pretty. Look how pretty that is. Okay. This is us. The water's already turning different colors. All right. This is a cute penguin. I just thought you should see him waddling. He's very cute. The pictures will get more clear. I put in one of those like waterproof things and it didn't really look too good. There. Okay. All right. So here we are. We're on land. Our first land right here. Okay. So we can look at the map where that was. Let me see if I can find it. Okay, so did they put it in the order of how we went? I think they would have. Welcome aboard. Okay. Was that Trinity Island, Gina, right at the top of the dock? Okay, but we could look at the map and just to give you an overview of where we are at, right when we go, okay? Right here. Okay, so on the map, on our way to the Beagle. Okay, so this is us leaving right here, Tierra de Fuego, right? On our way, right here. El fin del mundo, the end of the world, is what it's called. And then we're going, we know this is not quite like horizontal, how they say, it's more like curved, right? With the Urbano Monte I've showed you map. If you haven't seen part 1 and part 2, go watch it because we want to save time today. I do my best to not to repeat things, instead just share new things. Okay, so here we are. Yeah, that's the tour. We got that. Okay. And here we are, Trinity Island. Okay, so that's the Penguin Island. How cute is that? So where's that on the map? Oh, wrong one. Okay. Trinity Island. Yeah, that is Trinity Island, which is somewhere here. Yeah, so this is Trinity Island. So we're starting here. I think this is it. Yeah. Here, and then this is everywhere we go throughout our trip, what we get to discover, and then more on all of this. So we got to see a lot, you all. Very beautiful. This is Trinity Island. All right. So, which brings us to, why are there penguins everywhere, right? Why are there so many penguins? It does feel like they were a magical creature. And why are they, guarding all these icebergs that are full of crystalline codes that froze and petrified? That's when the water freezes, it's the water's form of petrification from a density of a fifth dimensional density to a, from a fifth dimensional density to a third dimensional density, but not, because the water's still going to be fifth dimensional or higher. It's just that they keep adding all these chemicals into it. Yeah. Okay. Show you a couple more images and videos of the penguins, and then we're going to go into the book, okay? Some important things we need to discuss there before. Just so cute. How cute is that? Oh my God, so cute. We'll fast forward. But there they are. Okay, so this is us, right? And we're walking among penguins. Fun fact, they like to poop a lot, and they poop on each other, and but they're still so adorable. The smell's not too bad. Think of, when you go to the zoo and the way penguins smell amplified to that. And then also the air really helps, that it's wide open air, so we're good. It is, look how cute this one is. Water. But what happens is that some of them are losing and getting a new coat, so they're losing their, I forget what it's called, their feathers. So that's what you'll see, some of them looking like this. They don't like it, they feel uncomfortable, and they're losing their feathers. These are smart penguins. Look at them, they're drinking water straight from the iceberg. They know it's the cleanest water to be drinking. Smart guys. But factually, all these stones, you see how they seem like crystals, because there are. I know for sure they confirmed that there was malachite and there was black obsidian. So these rocks are, and if you look at them, they look like petrified wood too. What we're looking at is many of these places are those giant trees. We know that there's two types of mountains. There's volcano mountains, which are volcanoes, and then we also have waterfall mountains that look like mountains, and they have waterfalls coming out of them, or just waterfall periods are mountains. Both of these trees are two different types of trees, of giant trees of life that held up our crystalline energy, that still hold up our crystalline energy. I'll keep talking while you see cute penguins. Now, see that's obsidian right there, that the penguin's on. And so one tree bursts in lava, fire, which is plasma source, flames into the earth, and giant tree, and then the other giant tree bursts into water, the creational water that appears out of nowhere, right out of the top of these trees. I can find you a video, but I know I've referenced it many times. But look at this cute wattle. Oh my God, that's adorable. Yeah. So there are many of these type of water giant trees and lava giant trees there in Antarctica, which goes into some of what the book talks about. Okay? There is a rainbow. Look at that right there. You see it? Wow. So there it is. And pay attention to, you see how different the rainbows are here? Because what happening, for those of you who know about Antarctica, Tartaria, you know that we're closer to the edge of the dome, the end of the world. Again, factually noted there on their history. And so then the arc would be lower because you're at the edge of the dome, right? Because the dome's going in, ooh, like this. And as it's going in, then the arc is lower. It's more horizontal. Have you ever seen one like that? I haven't. They're usually, I've seen them in the clouds. I've seen them, little ones. I've seen them, as a big arch because we're closer to the higher part of the crystalline dome, the firmament, as Yeshua wrote for us in the Bible. The benevolence there. So then if you're at the edge of the end of the world, fin del mundo, Tierra de Fuego and Antarctica, then it's going to be lower, the rainbows. Do you understand? So there's some science for you, also some facts there on why the rainbow arcs would be different there. Okay. I guess I'll finish showing you this little island while I'm at it, and then we'll go into the book, okay? Here, right across, you see these giants. Now, you don't understand how big they are, but they're huge. I don't know how many feet, gigantic, but I'll keep showing you pictures. Actually, the thumbnail I showed you is a picture I took. That's just the beginning wall of it, and then goes on. So what's happening, if you notice, is that these icebergs that they claim were icebergs, and because of, what do they call it? I forget that fake word that they use, where whatever they have, they claim that the temperature is, I can't remember. Anyways, so they, the elites use it and claim that there's something wrong and there's disasters and whatever. So what they're scared of is, see, this used to be all ice. All these lands used to be ice, and they're melting. So at that wall I was just showing you a minute ago, we were there, and right when we landed, you all, there is a dragon that roars and it shakes the whole land you're on. It shakes the environment, and as it shook, there was basically a dragon that released a giant guardian of, am I sharing the right one? Was I sharing images right now? Tell me, did you see the images?
Well, we can't see the images.
Oh, okay, let me go back. Where was I? Sorry about that, guys. Okay, back to the images. Okay. So I don't know where we're at. Where were we? We saw the cute penguin.
Please.
Yeah, we saw that.
You're referring to global warming, no?
That's what I meant. Thank you, love. Those are, artificial names. Sometimes I can't remember them. For the most I can. So there's penguins. That's what I was trying to show you guys. There's the rainbow that I was talking about. See that? So that's the horizontal rainbow. We'll repeat that for some reason. We need to go twice with that. Let's go. Okay. And you already heard me explain the rainbow there. Yeah. What else we got here? This is the one I was showing you where the ice was falling and the dragon came out of it. Roar. Just like thunder, but there was no thunder or storm going on at that moment. Cute penguins again. Okay, walking around. So cute. There's that weird looking cloud, so thick. Oh, you guys were trying to call me. You know what? I'll just take it off silence in case I accidentally don't show images again. All right, thank you guys. What else? How cute they are. What else can I talk about that I didn't talk about? Let me see. Let's talk about a little bit about the penguins. They're magical creatures. So what I see them is that once they could fly, and they are not flying now because they are grounded and they're protecting. They have to stay on the ice. So every day, this one's melted already though, but where they're at, they go on the ice and they go on the water back and forth, and they've been doing this, for a good 100 years, especially after the Antarctica Treaty, specifically, that really allowed for the negative aliens and entities to freeze these waters. But some of the freezing began though with the fall of Atlantis. Okay. Oh, there's the rainbow still. How cute! Oh, it's so powerful. I love that. Look at that rainbow. Wow, rainbow energy. So what they look like is they have like long feathers here in their tushies, and they have long feathers here coming out of their head, and magical creatures. They're black and white because they're representing the... Oh, wow. They're representing the yin and the yang and the balance there. So they're representing the polarities. So someone asked me too, one of the girls that was traveling with me, she said, what do you think about the penguins? She said, I think that, she says, it's beautiful how I feel they represent a lot of like the tuxedo that men wear with the black and white, and it's elegant. And I said, yeah, I agree. I feel that it represents that. Some more video of the rainbow. Wow. And there's grace and elegance to them. Now, again, not playing around, like people are absolutely infatuated with penguins, and the entire cruise was infatuated with penguins. Anywhere you went, you got a penguin statue or a penguin, fluffy sweater or fluffy stuffed animal. I mean, they are famous, really famous out there. They're the favorites. So all that love is important to be given to them because they are, again, protecting the ice. So something's already happening in the sun. If you noticed earlier, there was no colors out of her. Look at that. The colors, there's rainbows, and you see the rings? There's rings coming out of her. Okay, she's working on something here. Has this one been enhanced? I don't know if it has. I think it might be natural. Let's see. Oh, it has been enhanced a bit to see the colors, but you can again see purple and green in the clouds. Aurora Borealis, see, look, you see all the colors here. Okay, so that's what the penguin looks like. They still have the black and white color in a magical creature form, but with feathers, head, and then they have wings. Their wings are not tiny how they are here. They've been grounded to protect the ice until we got to heal the ice in Antarctica and us as a collective. And they've done a beautiful job. Okay. The waddle is priceless, you all. So while you keep watching videos, and let me know if you have any questions on what I said about penguins and so far of what I showed you on the map. Questions, comments. Oh, thank you, Gina. You wrote down a list of where we went. Awesome. Order of stops on trip. That was really nice. Trinity Island. Thank you. Questions to be answered. Is that 11 p.m. or daytime? That's 11. That's 11 a.m. So actually we land on the 10th hour. Nice. Got us still unseen with us. And she already did some major work, right? Like doing an A.U.R.A session on the entire, anyone who allowed on the cruise to get through that Drake's Passageway. If they were gonna choose a highest vibration there and be healing the Antarctica, right? They had to. So wow, yes. Chemtrail the penguins, yeah, which tells you they're not. Let's talk about that a bit. They're not technically chemtrailing the penguins, are they? Wouldn't that mean that they're chemtrailing the humans? Yeah. So beyond that, there's more land, as we know. So we're only touching the tip of it, and then massive, huge. I would say it's as big as Australia would be on this end. But we're just honored to have been able to touch the tip. So they're chemtrailing that civilization over there beyond the ice wall, that their global warming is so worried about these ice walls melting, because what's going to happen? These worlds will be able to see each other. What's going on, right? And we talked about that at the beginning of our Antarctica Tartaria series. I think it should have been in book 3, The Lost Cities of Tartaria. Yeah, it should be chapter 5. Yep. And it goes into, it's an incredible book, guys. If you haven't bought it, Barnes & Noble and Amazon, go buy it. It's incredible. Where we talk about how we are inside, right, the Monte map. We're in here. And then there's civilizations beyond, over there, beyond the ice wall. We don't know that they're out there, and they don't know that we are here. What else can explain a full-on chemtrail wall above us if there is no civilization supposedly there, right? Something's going on there. And I mean, we remote viewed it, and what I can tell you exactly what I remote viewed is spot on, literally. Like 99.99999 and infinity on, for real. So, yeah, enjoy the book when you're reading that chapter 5. It's cool if you read the book while I'm doing this series, because you can understand it at another level when you're reading the book, because I'm going to be sharing you all the details that you won't hear if you go on one of these expeditions, the real truth of what's happening there. Okay. Yep. Back to showing pictures, Penguin Island, and then we'll go into the book. We're doing good. We're doing good. Okay, what else we got here? This is all poop. It's all these splatters are pooped. Yeah. This is where, see, but this is like, it goes on. It's high. You can't see it because of the fog. This is just a little bit. He's just cute. I think he's a baby. Oh, he's a baby penguin. He's cute. Look how fluffy. Fluffy. Okay. Adorable. Let me see what other questions you have though. While you keep looking there. Let's see. Yeah, exactly. Chemtrails. So how was the mermaid energy there? It was. Let's talk about the Drake's Passageway. So in the past, you've seen like movies, right? Like where the dark sirens, they like enchant you and you can't get past. That energy was definitely there. There was dark sirens at the Drake's Passageway that were locked into dark sorcery through the dark skinwalkers. Again, you guys should be able to know what I'm talking about if you're watching the other videos. If you want to know what a skinwalker is, watch The Real News, Erica Kirk, Candace Owens, and that explains everything to what is going on with Erica Kirk. She's a skinwalker. So the skinwalkers are dark sorcerers, keep watching, that have been here since Atlantis, and they jump into people's bodies. They jump into their consciousness and take over their consciousness. Those are the alter egos you see in like the celebrities. They're not alter egos. It's an entity, which is like a demon witch lady most often. The males I haven't been able to really find males as skinwalkers. I see how, oh look, the fog's clear and it goes up, very high. We have seen females from the time of Atlantis, but not so much males. The males from Atlantis tend to, like the warlocks, use the females. So right there it goes on. They use the females to do their bidding under dark spells, through, seduction, through retrieving their sacral chakra, their essence, which I'm going to go into that a bit because this is really big. We've really been talking about in our Rising Phoenix Mystery School to really understand these concepts. Guys, I'm telling you, these videos are next level. Get ready for another next level to the content that you are watching, which is already wow. But in our school, we've been talking about the umbilical cord, and your umbilical cord, how important it is that it's only healed and crystallized to divine mother of creation. Not depends though if your mother is a good mother and she's, you know, maybe a fractal of, you know, a Mother Mary, or you know, however it feels right for you. But your crystalline umbilical cord should always be connected to source of light with divine mother. Her umbilical cord to her, your umbilical cord to her placenta, her womb, and no one else physically. And that puts you on another level of vibration and frequency. Now you want to be riding these rainbow unicorn roads, which could be seen like one of the messages I gave on our website last night is, let me pull that up, about these rainbow unicorn roads, since we are in the year of the unicorn fire horse, right? And let me read it because it's a really good explanation how I wrote it there. Okay. All right, so this is what the fire unicorn said, that in order to create your endeavors, you need to be riding their rainbow bridge. In other words, for example, you have been thinking of going to a retreat, but it hasn't happened. The unicorn's answer to that is, you will be there thinking forever. Okay, this is what they say. You will be there thinking forever, but to make it happen, you just have to decide to just go, which puts you instantly on the rainbow bridge, and then all aligns while you are on the road with that decision made. Otherwise, what I could explain is that you're on the side of this fast-paced rainbow road of unicorn, right, energy, and you're just standing next to it while that road is moving fast, and you're just thinking. You're standing here thinking, and it's gonna keep moving while you keep thinking forever. So the fast-paced rainbow aligns, the fast-paced rainbow road aligns it all for you as a fast-moving automatic walkway at an airport, as you are vibrating so high and fast through it, which makes everything divinely land into place. Otherwise, you will always just remain on thinking about something, and it will never come to be because you simply have not made up your mind and have divinely committed. Thinking of something without action is just energy not knowing where to go, says Einstein on that one. Ready? Thinking of something without action is just energy not knowing where to go. We should make that into a quote, Gina. Make a note of that. That's quantum physics simply for you. Okay, so if you want to look more into the umbilical cord, well, add the links here. You want to do the healing that you want to do there is Egyptian Unveiling Egypt, Divine Mother Hathor and Isis, part 16. Deep into that 3-4 hours, guys. It's huge because most likely you have a lot of infringements through your umbilical cord to your mother or even past life mothers. So make that spiral umbilical cord, because it's a spiral, factually, physically, umbilical cord, into connecting only to Divine Mother of Creation, love light. Okay, that's one thing. Then the next thing that I need to just briefly talk to you guys about, but my school again gives you the tools on how to take care of this. I could talk to you about it, but I mean, you got to do the courses to understand. This was actually simply in our live Q&A, which is only $4 a month, and we talked about it there. So if you want to join this month's live Q&A, you could have the video to watch what I'm speaking about in our school. Okay, so again, Patreon or my website, $4 membership. But then there's the extra sensitive series, which is Einstein, Tesla. Currently, we're channeling the truth of World War II and Adolf Hitler. Okay, and just to let you know, I am going to be channeling Michael Jackson. I've been waiting for this. So after channeling Hitler, I am going to go into Michael Jackson. He's been coming on so strongly, and he keeps showing me all this information and of his true messages and how benevolent he really was, and how he really was trying to save the children. But we'll at least save that for the future. That's the extra sensitive series. And So what's happening is that you're in the year of the unicorn and you're supposed to be riding fast on that rainbow fast pace, right? But you can't. You're on the side. You can't. The reason why is because you're not a matching vibration to the rainbow road. Okay, that's another thing. You need to be a vibratory match, because otherwise you just bounce off it, or you can't even enter. It's just like two magnets pushing away at each other. Magnetic fields, boom, they can't touch. That's how you are. That's just the way quantum physics and energy works. Frequency, vibration. Okay, so what's going on is that you have an ex. You have an ex-husband, you have an ex-boyfriend, past lovers, or past people who you had intercourse with this life or other lives. The reason why they find you this life in the Matrix is because they're archonic in nature, they're entities, and they're narcissistic, they're dark people who are covered parasitically with entities and, think you're their food to munch on. Okay? So the way that they can find you this life, the way they found you, and this is big for those of you who have those exes, you can't get rid of them, is that in the past life, when you had intercourse, had sex with them, your essence, your creational energy, your plasma that you interchange energy with, quantumly, a quantum entanglement, from that past life, you've given your essence to them and they have it inside of them. You're female, male, you enter each other, however that is, right? So then at that point, how they find you is that trace, that dark X entity from that past life and every other past life you've had. How many times have you been trapped in that same relationship over and over? Okay, has your essence, and this is how they make hell on earth for you, and how they even try to control your children. And it goes deeper than that, guys, so deep. Okay, so do the live Q&A, boom, you'll get it, and you can watch this month's March 2026 video. Okay, and because they have your essence and then they find it again and then they find it again. You understand that, right? Let me know if you have comments on that, but otherwise we answered tons of questions in the couple hours that we covered that in our live Q&A. Okay, and it's also the way that you are disempowered too, because they are technically taking and siphoning your like a spider munching on it from those time spaces. They're taking your essence even from this time space, courting it into other past lives where they're in charge of you. So you need to go back and pull all those essences out from them. And that's not just past lives, that's also higher dimensions. Any being you have had intercourse, especially in the earthly realms where you're confused and you can't find your twin flame, and you're marrying and having one-night stands and sex with people you shouldn't be, you are not a vibratory match. I'm telling you right now. If they are not your twin flame, you are not a vibratory match to whoever you're having intercourse with. And honestly, it's disgusting because now they have your energy inside of them. It's in them. How's it going to get out? It's in them. Okay, so that's why we teach the quantum teachings that we teach, especially the aura hypnosis and the raw Reiki, how to entity remove, how to pull that energy back to you, because you got to do it right, divinely. That's what we always teach at our Rising Phoenix Mystery School. You got to do it the right way. You can't miss anything. If you miss anything, it doesn't work. That's why you all have gone to, I've had people who come to me who have spent $150,000 in trying to heal themselves, and they heal themselves with one $500 session, aura session that's 5 hours long. One session, boom, they're healed after spending $150,000. So you could do it. Yes, you can. And this is how you begin. So join me May 11 here in Chicago to learn how to walk your most organic timelines and remove yourself from these inverted timelines and take your essence back. They're using it and using you like a puppet. And that's why you can't get out of that bad luck streak, because someone is using your creational energy somewhere for their own inverted reasons to create for themselves. You understand? Tell me you understand. So if you're not a twin flame, you're not a vibratory match. Those energies should not be having intercourse with one another because you are not a quantum entanglement. You're not a quantum match. It is spiritually, energetically wrong because your DNA, like your souls that were born from the same soul, sign up to the course, Manifesting Your Twin Flame. That explains that you're born from the same flames, same flame, two flames, twin flames. So what if you go and have visualize two flames? You can only be with the two flames that were born from one flame. You can't go have intercourse with someone else who was born from another flame. That's like hybridization too, the alien hybridization. You understand? All right, that's enough. But I'm talking about Antarctica. But two major things that have been vast in our mystery school right now that you want to be looking at to raise your vibration in love light. Let's see what else. So yeah, the mermaids, they're healed. The Drake's Passageway healed them. Incredible. Some of these like seals that were really friendly with us, really felt like they were like, maybe mermaids. So I think they were able to shift into, seals in different forms. So as it goes to the Return of Avalon, to understand that, where the guardians are the animals now. And yeah, check that out. We also went to Grand Canyon where we talked a lot about this. We have videos on the Grand Canyon and how the animals came back. The guardians came back, but some of them can't be like full-on light beings that are 10 feet, 30 feet tall as a mountain. So they show themselves in animal forms, deers, bears, yeah. So then really what we were seeing is going to be different than what you will hear. Everyone else might tell you about Antarctica, how dangerous it was, down to the person I shared that I told you that went, and they had people with guns to protect them because these seals and sea lions were gigantic. We didn't see that. We saw a world where the animals were friendly with us. Of course, don't get close to them and don't agitate them, but so it is a beautiful world. Stay tuned, guys. Keep watching. It is so heart activating and healing to know of the animals. For those of you who are animal lovers, I am a vivid animal lovers, born as an animal lover. To me, that is everything, that the animals are healing and are vibrating higher like this. So what else did you write in comments and questions? And then we're going to go into the book. Did your bodies feel lighter, closer to the crystal dome? Absolutely. Honestly, I felt, especially because we did Machu Picchu right after this, and if going from that world of Antarctica to the then South America Machu Picchu world, like I needed to do it in that order to walk, because we did a lot of hiking, and you're out of breath. You have to go pretty high. You're climbing mountains, and that really acclimates your oxygen level and your being so that you're prepared when you go to Machu Picchu. So definitely incredibly light. When you watch part 2, I talked about the crystallization that happened when you went through the Drake's Passageway, and your body, I felt like I could literally float. I could float if I wanted to, but I shouldn't start floating there. That's how it felt for sure. Thank you for your question. Next one is, can you explain how the Arctic and Antarctica are both cold if they're in opposite places? Penguins only exist in Antarctica, but not in the Arctic. So North Pole, I think you're talking about, right? Confirm Arctic is North Pole. Write it in the question, Gina. So why are they cold? Because, okay, so let me explain to you. I was talking to the goddesses. Now you watch Cursed Gods, Cursed Lands. When we went to Hawaii, and what happened there, we ran into werewolves for real. Not Twilight the movie, not for real. They try to eat us, but we didn't let them eat us. Shifters, like, they're just getting off their pickup trucks barefoot, just shorts, barely clothes on, going into the forest in the middle of the night, guys. What else would that be? Anyway, so when we were there, we got to you watch that video, Curse Lands, Curse Gods, you understand the story then. But they are the guardian. They were guarding. They had to turn into these werewolves, canines, to guard the heart of Pele. Her heart has been healed. She's good, and she's protected. Okay, so what I can tell you is that there's different goddesses. Okay, there's different goddesses that when you enter into their worlds, all of them are goddesses of the daughter of the flame, who I've been channeling. The phoenix. All of them are. So they're at the beginning of creation, there was the 4 centaurs. We talked about that. You could watch as my first videos that I channeled 1,000 videos ago. So, I mean, it's fun to watch. I look, younger. I have dark hair, not white hairs. And I am very introverted and shy. So the fact that I did that video is pretty incredible. But that began my journey through the twin brothers that you hear in every indigenous tale. The Mayans, the Incas, Cherokee, whoever. They talk about these brothers, even Irish, Hawaii, they talk about the 2 brothers, always. So which is Archangel Michael and the Prince of Light, who is Archangel 4. Okay? So that's they're everywhere too, these twin brothers. We find them when we're doing our retreats. Their stories are in all the mountains. There's different locations that are called after them. They claim that they're quarreling, maybe brotherly quarrel as angels, just for fun. But they're one. Michael and the Prince of Light are one. So which is basically the dark and the light, the yin and the yang, like the penguins, of the angels in Divine Father. He's Divine Father. Okay. So when I channeled that, we talked about the beginning of creation, and then how basically the worlds were yet created, the universe, and how the very first star was birthed into creation, and that's where the angels came out from, which were the source beings. But before that, before they went into the star and birthed out of the star, the very first star beings, which their source of light, their source, to insult them is your insulting source, to be honest. Absolutely, because their source, their source out of the source of light, out of the plasma, that's them. Yes, that's God. So they're fractal, not even fractals, they're beings of source, okay? So then in this plasma plane of existence, 2-dimensional plane of existence, souls hadn't been born yet. They hadn't, I can't even go into that story, it's long, but there was a plane of existence, there was a blue plasma at the center, and then watch the channeling, and then they basically, that blue plasma needed to create with the daughter of the flame, the phoenix, the multiversal phoenix, the phoenix that gives life to everything, right? Needed to create and converge together, like the sperm and the egg meeting together and, ovulating and then creating a baby, an embryo. So Earth is the first, say, planet embryo of creation. Everything is grown from an embryo, even down to plant life. The seed is an embryo. Okay, just giving honor and homage to everything. This is like my Mayan memory, and the Mayan goddess Ixtel, Donasi is telling me this. And then, so that's the channeling. Okay, so all these seeds are representations of the first of everything, first of all elements, first of trees, plants, first of planets. Okay, then this planet here, Earth, multiply, just create, continue to create, like, okay, like a ripple, right? A ripple. And if we get to those pictures, you'll get to see what happens to the water. You see that there's no life really in it when we land, but wait till you see what happens later. It is, you have to see it to believe it. And I have the videos and pictures, so you could believe it. So then these ripples, it's like these ripples that created all these earths and lands, which is in book 3, Lost Cities of Tartaria, Beyond the Ice Walls of Antarctica, are waters on lands on waters. Okay. All right. So the Vesica Pisces, the flower of life, the flowers of circles, benevolence. Don't use the flower of life negatively. That is inverted. Okay, so on the flower of life, Vesica Pisces, the 2 circles, right? They intertwine. Okay, for you to get to that world, and this is really sensitive, so I want to say, don't bother. You can't do anything about it. Dark things. So if you try, the goddesses will get your A. They will. They're not playing. Not anymore. They're freeing everywhere. All right, so you go into the world of Europe, Asia, there's a goddess there, which is, and then the land of, so goddess Bridget, okay, and we got another land, Asia, which is goddess Nuwa, or Kuan Yin, and we got the goddess over here in North America is the goddess Sophia, birthing Mexico, into South America, the Phoenix, the daughter of the flame, where there's going to be strong energy emanating out from there in ascension when both dragons lift up. I know you've been watching, so you know what I'm talking about, how the lands are dragons. Okay. All right. So when you go to, they called them Sandwich Islands. Back then when they discovered them in Hawaii, Mother Pele is the goddess of that world. Do you understand? So you need to give respect and ask for permission to enter her world, which goes into then Antarctica. Whose creation is that? So we got, there used to be an umbilical cord that was connected. You could see it when I talked about the Drake's Passageway, how it's cut off, right? So the umbilical cord from South America from Tierra del Fuego into the Antarctica lands where all the key penguins are at, used to be connected, okay? In those old maps, you see them. You could walk on the Urbano Monte map, right? You could walk there, okay? So that is another world where there is many gods and goddesses, but they are also the wings. I'll show you an image of the Urbano Monte map. They're wings of both dragons, okay? Let me show you quick visuals, even though I referenced this tons, in case you're watching this for the first time, but hopefully you want to watch again, part 1 and part 2, so you're really understanding what we're talking about. Okay, so we got the 2 dragons, okay? This is going to answer your question. All right, 2 dragons here. See them? This is America. This is Europe, Asia. See the dragon here, father dragon. This father dragon, his wings are Antarctica. His wings would be then Australia. Those are his wings. Her wings are then go here to Pacific Ocean and go also below here. Down here where their South America is at. Okay. South America, it's not, I don't think it's shown here so much on this. Oh, you know what? I have a link to this map. Exactly. So let me show you a 3D map of this. Let me pull that up. Okay. Okay. Here it is. Okay, so this is right here. This is Greenland. This one. So this is the head, right, of Mother Sophia. Her wing is embracing Father here. Father Crystal, dragon. Africa's Archangel Mike, Archangel 4. That's his birthing, his twin, you could say. Okay, so this is his birthing out right here, this child. Then we have here, right here, the dragon of North America. The umbilical cord connects her baby placenta. We've shown you the videos how this looks like a baby dragon. And then goes here. Now here it's like a globe, so that's not really explaining. I mean, then we know this is not how Antarctica looks. Okay, yeah, so this doesn't quite help too much since it's not really a flat, but just so you can see here, right here, the Drake's Passageway, it was connected, okay? Umbilical cord. All right, so now you understand that. Really honor when you're traveling. Give permission, especially if you're going from each world that I explained. Yeah, and ask those goddesses to help you acclimate to their environment. They call it jet lag. It's not jet lag, it's your body's, you probably did in ground one and you're probably eating meats and greasy stuff. That's not gonna help you. And your body is acclimating. Your whole digestive system is what we saw is like crystallize and shift so that we're able to eat in that world, the Antarctica world or the South America world. So then that's what's happening with your stomach issues when you're traveling. As long as you're eating good stuff, I mean, it's just really, the organs are literally adjusting to that environment and what you're eating. Okay. All right. So let me see what else here. Your questions. All right, so Mother Pele is the entry to another world. We're just seeing the little entry to that, and then so that it's okay. So all the goddesses there, and then even like the plates, the volcanic plates in between like the Atlantic Ocean and like the Pacific Ocean, like over here on this side of California and over here on that side, is it? Send me a link, Gina, of where the platonic volcanic plates are at. So by California, and then there's a circle. Oh, there's a circle. So yes, around, and Hawaii is pretty much at the center of that. So beyond that platonic plates of volcanic plates is another world. Okay, so. But what's happening is that these goddesses petrified, but they're free now. They're being freeing everywhere as we raise in vibration and we heal the lands. Entity removal, they're getting freed. They're coming back. They're literally like crossing over from their crystalline world to our world. The convergence of all these eclipses and portals, they're entering. They're here. They're walking among us. You can watch A.U.R.A regression, the convergence, I think it's called. Eclipse, the convergence. We'll add that link there for you. Okay. Did I answer your question? I know that was a deep answer. So that's what's happening. So in order for these worlds to be freed, you need to wake up and unpetrify the goddesses. And Mother Pele is doing it everywhere. So you can't stop her no more. Don Unseen, she's got your A's. She's got your butts that are bad. That's the one you call to get those pedos, right? Sophia's awake over here. She's definitely very much awake and birthing. Yeah, it's happening, you all. Okay. And I don't even know what question that was. What question was that? Oh, you're asking why is it iced? Because it's petrified there and frozen there because it's another world. You understand? And we need to undensify it and global warm it and melt it out. So then we can then cross over to the other worlds without such a hard time, like a Drake's Passageway, it's too rough to get through, right? Which now should be smooth as possible. Okay, okay, Michael Jackson or Archangel Michael? Michael Jackson. I'm going to channel Michael Jackson. Didn't I say that? I'm pretty sure I said that. Michael Jackson. Extra sensitive series after channeling World War II. Adolf Hitler. Okay, so was that if they are molting feathers, that's what it's called, did they leave enough for a headdress? You're funny. Oh yeah, they're everywhere, but they're watching you. They're like, you can't get down. You can't, they don't let you put anything down. They don't let you bend down, because, oh God, no. But you know, in my presence, they got nicer and nicer every day. So by the time they're done with us, we're on a volcanic island that was active, and I won't say exactly who it was, but he was like, "Have you touched the warm water yet and felt the heat come out?" I was like, "No." Well, he asked, "Have you done that yet?" And I said, "I had done it, but I'm not supposed to do it, right?" So according to the rules, I was like, "Perhaps, maybe." And he said, "Well, if you haven't done it, go do it." And so we all run like children, the five of us, and we're like playing with the water and touching the heat. It was incredible feeling to be on a volcanic island beach, and you're feeling the heat come out of the lava rocks and the water, and there's steam coming out, which I'll show you later more of that. But yeah, so they got really nice. So yeah, that's what was happening there. You can't collect anything. You're not supposed to. And the truth is that it probably be covered in too much penguin poop that you probably don't want to. Yeah. So how many types of penguins did you see? How many types of penguins did we see, Gina? Oh, I think you have a list down here. Let me look. We saw several of them. They were so cute. We saw chin straps and gentoos and Adelie. Yes, 3 types. We did not see the imperial penguins. Wherever we're at, they weren't there. Okay, good questions. Next one. And we're going to go into the book. Okay. The penguins represent the polarities. Yeah, they live in the polar region. Maybe that's why they call it that. Ah, you guys are good. Yeah, you got it. You got it. Whoa. Okay. So they're like, okay, they fly. So imagine just like kind of like phoenixes. Ooh, like black and white phoenix flames. They got feathers here, feathers in their butt. They have wings, and they're just like flying like yin and yangs. Angel bumps on that, guys. In these regions. Wow. Cool. Okay. Thank you for that question, which brought that visual. Why do penguins stand on their legs compared to other birds? Why do they stand like people? Because they're highly intelligent beings, really. They really are magical creatures. So, I mean, we did run into humans. None of them were humans. In Ireland, we ran into the sheep at this one location where there was like hills. And what happened was that the sheep were very insistent and kept going, bah, 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 and they wouldn't stop. And when we stopped being goofy because they were being so funny, we realized, oh, wait a minute, you have a very high intelligence. And then this one main sheep told us that they were trapped there by the dark sorcery, and that they were humans long ago, like when Goddess Bridget walked, and the skinwalkers made them into lambs, and they've been stuck inside sheep bodies, and that's why they were screaming at us to save them, which we did save them, and then they turned into regular sheep. And their souls released out of there and became back to the guardians that they were. So if that's what you're implying, those penguins, no, they didn't seem like that kind of people. They said they were just guardians. What I saying, like people, I think they're just very like people. Well, they've also adapted, because when you don't have your wings and you can't fly like you can normally in the 5D, and you're this beautiful flame black and white birds, then all you're gonna be able to do is waddle and walk. They have to walk because they can't fly. What other birds can't fly? Gina, what other birds right at the top besides penguins? I wonder what other ones there are. Oh, well, like ostriches, Flamingos can fly, right? Yeah, let me know. Okay, and then we'll come back to that. So can you clear away all your negative karma experiences from your DNA and Akashic records in all lifetimes, like total reset? You could, but I would highly recommend an aura hypnosis entity removal, because the only way to do that is through entity removal, removing what's parasitic, synthetic, artificial within you that's not a divinely true organic crystalline match to you and your DNA. So absolutely, aura hypnosis for that. Learn it to become certified, or have a session with me or any of the practitioners. Absolutely. Okay. What other comments do we guys have? We are in purple. Oh yeah, we said that. So cute. Yeah, they are so cute. They say that some women waddle when they're pregnant. That's true. I think they just waddle because, you know, it's the way to balance themselves, because they could fall over. Because they got like chubby bodies and no wings, like no long hands and no long feet either. So yeah. They say bird poop is very fertile. All right. There are also tuxedo cats. Oh, that's true. That's true. Yeah. Okay. I have to look this up. Like black and white ones, like, you know. Yeah. As they said, thank you for sharing the message about the fire unicorns, a powerful manifestation. Yes, thank you. Okay, those are all questions and comments. I got them covered. Let me see what Gina wrote at the top. Birds can fly, that can't fly. Okay, ostriches, emu, cassowary, kiwi, kakapo, ray, flightless, cormorant, steamer duck, the extinct dodo. Okay. So there's a couple, but all the other thousands can fly. So it feels like these non-flying birds would be guardians of the land, wherever they're at. Like they can't move. Like they can if they wanted to, but they're mobile to the land because they're guardians of that land. You understand? So all of these that you mentioned. So where the rest maybe are guardians of the air, they're guardians of the land. You understand? They're the ones that fly are guardians of the wind. Okay, and the elements there. Okay. Yep. What else? What else we got? I need me some frankincense. Oh, which brings us to, I don't know if this one has it, to our infomercial as we're about to go into the book. Bear with me for my infomercial. As I am self-funded, I am sovereignly, I am also a family-owned business. So thankful. I'm a business owner, thankful for you to be here and supporting in all ways that you can. And for that, I am going to go into our featured oil for this week, which is Magdalene's Kisses. Now let me show you here. I think the dogs are they going out? No. Okay, so here, if we go here to about AuroRa under my website, risingphoenixaurora.com, and you click essential oil fragrances. Here you are. And we're going to read this out. There is Magdalene's Kisses, Attract Love. There is the oil roll-on and then the spray. Again, all organic coconut oil, which I think is the gentlest on the skin, and then Michigan water that is cleansed and reverse osmosis and cleared. Okay, so let's look at Magdalene's Kisses here. Let's see what she has message. I just love to read them because they're so full of love. They just make me so happy. All right, but before I read them is that they have inside, see that? They have garnet in them, garnet crystals. Ooh, it feels nice. Okay. All right, so crystal essential oils, fragrances. Okay, so Magdalene's Kisses, Attract Love and Twin Flame Union. It has Roman chamomile, juniper berry, nutmeg, wintergreen, cinnamon with garnet gemstones. Now again, if a couple of you guys bought my full collection, which if you buy the full collection, you get 3 for free. So all 14 of them, 3 for free. And this is what Mary Magdalene channeled for us to know that this is the energy it carries. Okay, wear this essential oil blend to attract real love in all ways divinely possible, as I had when I walked hand in hand with Yeshua. Recall that I have always taught you to believe that all is possible that is divine to be. With every trace of this scent, love will be amplified. Self-love, love for others, to attract a soulmate. We say this again, all very positive. We don't do dark spells here. So to attract a soulmate, whatever love is next on your divine path, wear this essence and know that I am with you, guiding you with my loving kisses within sisterhood and brotherhood. Yeshua's beloved Mary Magdalene. Thanks for allowing that. There they are. Go purchase them, you all. Let's go. Okay. Let's keep going. All right, so we got that, and I answer all your questions and comments. I'll come back later to any additional questions and comments. So let's look at the book. Gina, you could add the link to the book now, and I'm not going to read the whole book, but what we're going to do is we're going to point out the parts where they do talk about Antarctica. Yeah. And then some of the rest of the North Pole, we're probably going to go over it. I love it when the sun. Our brown eyes are just so pretty, aren't they? In the sun. Oh, it's so pretty. So we but we're going to go with the extra sensitive series with channeling Adolf Hitler, because there's going to be some important things here in this book that you see here, but I'm going to share it on the screen for you. So I have notes here of what I'm going to go over, and then we'll have to conclude it there. And then on to the next. And remember, we just landed on one island. God, guys, the Penguin Island. What? You have no idea what's entail for us, what's coming up, and what we saw there. Keep watching this series, guys. I'm telling you. Okay, so here I have it loaded. Follow along with me if you want. Otherwise, just watch the screen. Okay. So this is the discovery of North Pole. And then again, published 1909 by Dr. Frederick Cook and Commander Robert F. something. Wait, I can see it here better. Commander Robert E. Peary, USN. Also other noted polar expeditions. Which is the Antarctica one, which we're going to go over. Here is the introduction. They're like little voyages of explorations. All right, we need to go back to become voyagers. Why are we told that where we can go? Why are we not allowed to be voyagers, wayshowers? I mean, we should be able to do that. We should have the right to do that. These waters connect to all lands. Why are you limiting and restricting us with the Antarctica Treaty? We need to delete that. Through all lifetime in space, higher self, come on. It's been deleted though. It's deleted. We're gonna see. It's been deleted. The unicorns took care of it in their entryway on their eclipse. But let's see where it goes. We know that they're archiving many things with this new administration, Trump administration. So let's see if we're gonna get rid of that. And I mean, that's our intentions, right, guys? No one should tell us where we could go or not. Of course, within safety. Be safe, you all. Be safe. I wouldn't recommend you go do this on your own unless you are experienced, because it could be dangerous. So, all right. All right. So let's see. And then there's some names, and then it says 1874 through 1956. So scenes expeditions from that time. Gift their sons so it was a gift from 1987. This guy here, Hugh Montgomery and Raymond B. Montgomery. So seems like a family. And it says here, Old Glory, the first flag at the North Pole, discovery of the North Pole. Again, this is about the North Pole. We're going to go into the Antarctica instead. It says here, Dr. Frederick A. Cook's own story of how he reached the North Pole April 21st, 1908. Whoa. Okay. That sounds like an important date. And the story of the Commander Robert E. Peary's discovery, April 6, 1909. What? Yes. Graphic and thrilling stories, April 6th, my birthday. Graphic and thrilling stories of the greatest achievement by man since Columbus discovered America. Terrible sufferings and privations, the awful cold, face to face with death and by starvation. American pluck, courage, and endurance reached the top of the world through terrific gales over a continent of ice. Wow. And then there's more names here. More names. Well-known author and traveler, member of National Geographic Society. Oh, what? I'm just gonna say what to that. Washington, D.C. So that's what National Geographic Society was doing back then, guys. Really the real explorations. That's cool. Also containing a true and authentic account of other great polar expeditions, including Franklin, Greely, so on. Illustrated with half-tone reproductions of photographs of many expeditions. Beautiful. There's the copyright 1909. Dedication. Okay. So, dedication to those intrepid men who, at the risk of their lives, with pluck, courage, and endurance, through toilsome and perilous journeys into the great silent and frozen zone, made possible the great discovery here. Chronicled, this book is dedicated. Beautiful. Sending a wave of love to all those guys who made it through. How long is this introduction? Let me see what I can read. Among the many explorations of the unknown regions in recent centuries, none have been more fascinating and engrossing than those for discovery within the polar circles. Polar circles! Guys, there's the truth. Not flat. They're polar circles around us. Boom, drop the mic. Despite man's utmost endeavors, a veil of mystery has hitherto enveloped the immediate vicinity of both geographical poles. In consequence, there have been offered to the world various hypotheses. Some declare that they are located on an ice-clad ocean, others that they are on a glacier-covered plateaus. Let's go into that. Some declare that they are located on an ice-clad ocean. So they are, that's correct right there, glacier-covered plateaus. That is correct. That's what we saw when we went. Perfect. Now there is some icebergs though, but the big masses are not giant icebergs. They're land masses. Again, the polar regions are declared to be the abodes of great herds of polar and hibernating animals, while their opponents assert that even the white polar bear shuns the highest latitude. Wow. Hibernating animals. Why hibernating animals? Because they're asleep, petrified in that ice, right? So they're slow. They're slow because freeze slow. They're slow motion. They're hibernating. Polar, so that's quantum physics, like if you're gonna be slower and in ice in more colder regions. So while for the most part of the polar countries are believed to be uninhabited except in the lower parts of the Arctic Circle. Guys, we're going to find so much truth in this. Wow. Believed to uninhabit it except in the lower parts of the Arctic Circle. There are those who have thought it possible that there are habitable areas where unknown tribes and strange peoples live far separated from the rest of the world. That is correct. That I've seen that. Yep. Strange people. I wonder what kind of strange people that is. So I think some of those, so it depends on what kind of strange you're talking about. In this time space, they don't have the full program like they have now, where they've jabbed people and they've made hybrid people that are living beyond those ice walls. In that time space or not. So then strange people probably would be like, some of those people that I saw in remote viewing. I think it was that was at the ice wall. I don't know. I remember what chapter is that in book 3? But let's see. At the rim of the crystal dome. Yeah, chapter 3. That's who they're talking about there. That were Celtic, very Celtic, and very tall, right? Okay. And then yeah, there would be tribes. We've talked about them through time. The tribes in far rest of the world. These and kindred polar topics have, for the past 4 centuries, engaged. 4 centuries! You guys have been exploring for 4 centuries? What? We didn't know that. Engaged the attention of the learned and the adventurous, of the scientist and the man of imagination. From time to time, there have appeared volumes describing not only the actual inhabitants of the Arctic Circle, but also fanciful or semi-serious accounts of imaginary tribes. Indeed, there have been so-called scientific books by American authors that argued the non-existence of either a North or South Pole and asserted, so even then they're trying to gaslight us. Well, that's not possible, because with gaslighting, there's authors like this that are awesome that publish their books. Yeah. So either, they're gaslighting about the North and South Pole, and asserted them that within the polar circles that the surface of the Earth curves gradually inwards, and that on this interior surface dwell nations as on the outer surface. Okay, hold on. So let's read that again. Okay. Indeed, there have been so-called scientific books by American authors that argued the non-existence of either a North or South Pole, and asserted that within the polar circles, the surface of the Earth curves gradually inwards, and that on this interior surface dwell nations as, no, that is correct. There are dwell nations as outer surface, but it doesn't curve. It goes flat, straight. I mean, that's why when you look at an ocean, there's only a flat line. Parallel, right? There's no curve. There's no curve. The only reason why you see rainbows is because it's the crystalline energy, the dome, the plasma ball we're in. That's reflecting the rainbow. Okay, nice. For these and other reasons, the production from time to time of summaries of polar voyages and explorations are most valuable, as tending to keep alive in the rising generation that interest in the mysteries and wonderful in nature, as well as in adventurous action, which the polar world peculiarly presents. The most distinctive feature of polar exploration is not generally recognized, that is, its entire disinterestedness. From its earlier phases of voyages to foster commercial intercourse, to stimulate and make more profitable trade relations by bringing China and the Orient in quick communication with the marts of Europe. Interesting, China. We'll find out more about that later. Communication with the marts of Europe. Polar explorations have passed to higher planes and are now confined to scientific and geographical researchers, offering no immediate benefits to free from lure or gain or other aspects of materialism. So in 1909, you're already seeing it. China and Europe. Wow, with increasing rarity, polar work is attended by disastrous losses of life. It has that stimulus to adventurous action. So that's why, like General Bird, for those of you who watch my extra sensitive series, and we remote viewed the North Pole for 5-6 episodes, that's why they literally say that he's nonsense, even though there's like videos talking about it and all this information that matches up with Olaf Jensen, who traveled there with his father. I reached the North Pole where Atama was at, and where Atama could only be at. And since Lemuria, you all, Atama is saying, oh my God, this is making me emotional. Since Lemuria and Atama, and watch, I channeled Queen Khalifa, part 1 and part 2, And then Adama shares this untold story, another video. He hasn't been able to get to the South Pole. They've only been in the North Pole. And now they are there. Because remember the video I showed you where the starships were in the water. Yeah. Since Lemuria, that's a long time. And he talked about the separation with the people here in Lemuria and them and how they had to wait there. They've been waiting how long? It's countless of thousands and thousands of years in our time space. Wow. Okay. Let me finish the introduction and then we'll be concluding this video. Wow, thank you. Okay, so Spirit of Minds. Okay, so yeah, commonplace to stir. Where were we? It has that stimulus to adventurous actions, to heroic endurance, and to a spirit of noble endeavor that makes it attractive to hearts and minds which yearn for something beyond the commonplace to stir their pulses. Nor have polar discoveries been devoid of practical benefits to the world. Bering's voyage led the discovery of Alaska, which now produces annually, oh, now you know, Alaska was discovered, of course, annually more than 30 millions of wealth for the United States. Hudson's early Spitsbergen voyages opened up whale fisheries through which the world has profited, though we don't agree that, to the amount of about $700 millions. Bearing of attractions, as has been Spitsbergen, to the tourist visitor, it is now of, what's Spitsbergen? Where's that at? Gina, send me, add the link to the top to where that's at. It is now, so Spitsbergen to the tourist visitor, it is now of such commercial importance that its ownership is to be the subject of international conference. Let me see if you found that link. I don't see it yet. We'll get back to it. Oh, the Ring of Fire. Let's look at that really quick. Okay, there we go. Ooh, okay, back to the goddesses and how we talked about. Okay, so there's the Rings of Fire. So what I can tell you is that there are Rings of Fire are plasmic energies that your vessel is entering into different worlds, like I explained earlier. That's what that is. Okay, good image there. And let's see if we found, okay, Spitsbergen, there it is. It's by, where is that? Arctic Ocean. Is that up there? Oh, so it's in the North Pole? Looks like it's in the North Pole. Yeah, okay, Arctic Ocean, yep. Norwegian. Greenland area, okay. All right, so they discovered that then. Just keep going here. Okay, now we got that visual. We know where that's at. Okay, all right. So international conference. So that's Spitsbergen. Polar work has had its tragedies and calamities as well as its triumphs and successes. Scores of books have been written on voyages relating to the Northwest Passage. In attempting which Sir John Franklin and 128 other souls perished. So that's the Drake's Passageway then. North, oh no, that's north. No, that's up. That's north, sorry, not Drake's Passageway. Their ships were last seen moored to an iceberg in Baffin Bay, and thereafter there have been found no records later than these reciting the abandonment of their vessels beset in ice northwest of King William Land and their retreat southwards towards Great Fish River. Their ships were abandoned because they went on Oh, Adama says that they went with and he says sometimes these voyagers did not want to come back, and they're one of the groups that did not come back. No, they like, you know, integrated and became part of the Inner Earth tribe. Hey, man, if you were given the opportunity, maybe you wouldn't want to come back either, right? Inner Earth, 5D, 3D, 4D, 3D world. Inner Earth, no work, a bun full of fruit to eat, and maybe you don't even have to eat at all. Or here, yeah, okay. So that's what happened. Adama said there to this group, King William Land. So their ships were last seen moored to a iceberg with Baffin Bay. We know, like, okay, you'll understand this because of remote viewing, extra sensitive series. North Pole, that's what happened to General Byrd and Olaf Jensen. They got taken on board to Inner Earth, and their, ships were, I don't know if they got left behind, but I think if it's small enough, I think they took their little canoe on board with them. So, and thereafter, there have been found no records later that these reciting the abandonment of the vessels best in ice northwest of King William Land and their retreat southwards towards Great Fish River. This unparalleled polar mystery engaged the attention of the world for nearly 15 years until the harrowing story of its fate found at least a partial solution through the great Arctic traveler McClintock. A similar disaster in the middle of the 16th century befell the first extended maritime venture of England to distant seas in the attempted discovery of the Northeast Passage. Chancellor's two ships with an equipage of 62 souls wintered on the barren shores of Russian Lapland, where the entire party perished on the dread Arctic disease scurvy. In striking contrast with Chancellor's experiences illustrating the vast improvements in equipment and transportation, Nordenskjöld made the Northeast Passage without casualty or danger. Most fortunately, England was not discovered by this disaster, through which was opened up a lucrative. Most fortunately, England was not discouraged by this disaster, through which was opened by a lucrative Muscovite trade, but entered a career of explorations and enterprises, which incidentally led to polar expeditions on a scale never attempted by any other nation. What stories of real life can be more thrilling to Americans' minds than those set forth in polar annals? There are the adventures of winter annals, because they're portals, right? Portals in the north, especially. There's a opening there. Again, they don't use words like we do now. There are the adventures and wintering of barons on the Nova Zembla, the besetment of Wayprecht, and the journey of Peyer on the shores of France Joseph Land, and 3 winterings of Perry in the North American archipelago, and the sledge journeys of Wrangel across the Siberian Ocean, the 5 years of Sir John Ross in Boothia Felix, and the discovery of the North Magnetic Pole. The magnetic, vicissitudes of Kane, and the boat journey of Hayes in the Smith Sound region. Wow, it's so awesome to know all these voyagers. Scott among the penguins and on the ice barrier of volcanic Antarctica. We'll talk about that next episode. The Great Drift of De Long and the disaster of Lena Delta, McClure's discovery of one northwest passage and the navigation of another by Amundsen, the successes and sufferings of the men of the Lady Franklin Bay expedition, the death of Hall, and the miraculous drift of the polar crew, and many other notable voyages, culminating in the great northings of Markham, Lockwood, Nansen, Cagney, and the attainment of the North Pole by Cook and by Parry. All these other varied experiences bordering on the marvelous and exceeding many flights of fancy appeal to the imagination, stimulate emulation, and cultivate an ardent appreciation of manly heroic qualities exhibited in action, while the wonderful journey of Shackleton to the vicinity of the South Pole has naturally excited widespread interest. Most intense in Great Britain, the astonishing Arctic episodes of 1909 have engrossed the attention of the United States, where feeling and one second. Okay, got that. Okay. All right. Where feeling and interest have been aroused by an extent unequaled by any other news of the period. That two Americans should have reached the North Pole independently would be most gratifying to the nation pride at any time, but that such journeys should be made over separate routes in successive years borders on the marvelous. Special interest attaches therefore to their methods, routes, and experiences. Dr. F.A. Cook established in 1907 his headquarters most primitively with the Etah Eskimo. Some 250 miles from the Arctic Sea, he took the field in native fashion with Eskimo assistance and selecting a novel route traveled through regions well known to abound in game. Again, questions, comments, write them now, and then we're about to read those out and make sure I answer everything. Attaining the North Pole with two Eskimos, April 21, 1908. Wow. He was subjected in his return to the vicissitudes and extreme dangers of drifting polar pack and spent an awful winter in Jones Sound region, whence his return in 1909 was hazardous and difficult. Wow. Commander Peary approached the task by again establishing his ship's quarters in 1908 on the very shores of the Arctic Ocean, across whose drifting ice pack he successfully made his journey, reaching the pole April 9, 1909. What's up? 1909. Thus he accomplished by energy and resourcefulness. Oh, that's when our last eclipse was, right? I don't know, something like that. I can't remember. I'm pretty sure. So thus he accomplished by energy and resourcefulness the great task to which he was applied himself for some 23 years. Late Commander Lady Franklin Bay Expedition. So this is Late Commander Lady Franklin Bay Expedition. So Lady Franklin, I think maybe was the name of their ship. And we'll finish it off with this. Looks like a fun cartoon. Competition at the North Pole from the Philadelphia Inquirer. It makes me hot. Where am I at? It's a mirage. What do they take me for? Cook's Pole, Perry's Pole, private, all explorers are hereby enjoined from discovering this pole by order R.E. Perry, Row, Prementer, Patience. So basically this is making fun of the fact that they said that now the public, I guess, can't go travel. This is the editor's preface. And then, which I'll probably see if I have to read anything, but next time we'll go into the pages that talk about Antarctica. So you know that world to this world. Questions, comments. I hope you enjoyed this video and show today. See what we have. Okay, you don't have any new questions? And no new comments. What's up? Let's dance it for a minute. I am Rising Phoenix Aurora, and you are incredible because you found your way here. You followed your heart to mine. And it is an honor to be here with you. Thank you for understanding this content. Make sure you hit like, subscribe, and come join me May 11th. If you can't join me in person, you could do it online. So we're doing it both online and in person. May 11th, A.U.R.A Hypnosis, Entity Removal, Raw Reiki, both certifications. Let me lower that, it's probably too loud. So both certifications, May 11, A.U.R.A and Raw. Go to my memberships, go sign up to any of our extra sensitive series or just the live Q&A, which I was talking about, the information about the exes that are tormenting you in this now time space and how to remove yourself from that, the beginning of that. Sign up to any of our courses. All our courses are 20% off this month. All of them. Coupon code Phoenix, all capitals. Otherwise, everything else is 13% off. If you want to come book a session with me, come. Akashic readings, past life regression, one-on-one sessions, and raw Reikis. And to find practitioners around the world, AuraPractitioners.com, my website, risingphoenixaurora.com. Let's go. Come on. Make sure you put on music this weekend. Dance a lot right now when you're done. Dance. Put on some music and dance. Your most favorite music. Have fun, you all. Have fun. I know it's hard. You know, everything that's happening with Iran. Stay strong. Stay strong. So much confusion and distraction out there. But you're doing incredible. You are strong. Thank you for being you. I love you, honor you, and respect you. Hit like and subscribe now. And I'll see you all next time. Remember, I'll be here not for 2 Fridays. The next Friday after that. Come check out my website, risingphoenixaurora.com. Love you. Talk to you next time.